Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to go right over to the ladies. We're going to go, oops, wrong button. We're going to go right to the ladies tonight and get rolling on what they've got for us tonight. So, hey, Becky. Hey, Kristen.
Hey, guys.
Let's get Becky unmuted. What do you ladies have for us this week?
Becky, you want to go first? Switch it up?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Hi, everybody. First of all, I just want to thank a lot of people because quite a few of you, I guess, signed up for monthly partnerships in this last week or increased your monthly partnership. And I can't say enough how important you guys really are. And thank you so much because it's because of you that Angie is able to be there. Angie, Kristen are able to be there for people that maybe can't afford to do that right now. And maybe are in the middle of it, need the help. Need the advice, maybe need some help getting their addict into treatment and recovery. So thank you so much. I also want to let you know that there's other ways that you can help, and the ways you can donate is if you are able to be if you have a company that does matching funds. So let me pull up my handy thing here. Do we have a slide?
Yes, we do. By the way? That's our slide.
So you can see there's quite a few, large companies that if you work for any of these companies or you have another company that does matching funds like Costco, Boeing, Nordstrom, Microsoft, Port of Seattle, AT&T, and Bank of America on here. Awesome. But also, I guess a lot of people were having trouble with Boeing and trying to figure out how to do the matching funds because they changed things the last couple of years. And so I believe Sherry Pennington and Carrie Burrows, I think, is the one that figured this out. You can go to boeing.yourcause.com and select donate, and then you can search Battlefield Addiction. And Sherry Pennington posted this on the Family Battle website, so you can go there as well and look this up. And I guess you can do that through Microsoft too. So it's microsoft.yourcause.com. And I don't know, are either of them on tonight? Are there other companies that use this yourcause.com?
Let's get Sherry to chime in since she did some research. I don't see Carrie Burrows.
Yeah, Carrie's the one who told me how to do it, and it's super duper easy. So you just go to that website. It's whatever the company is, yourcause.com, and then you search for Battlefield, and then there's like a button that says donate, and it's super easy. Your initial payment happens right then, and then it's a scheduled payment on the matching at the end of a quarter. So the matching will come in later, but it's so easy.
Awesome. Thank you. And that's for corporations who use Your Cause as their processor. So some of the corporations use this service. And that's why Boeing has recently changed, and now we know the new system. So thank you for looking into that, Carrie Burrows. Thank you, Sherry, for typing all that up. If any of you work for Boeing or Microsoft and need those directions, we can send them right to you. Other companies do it different ways. So basically, whether your company is on that list or not, if your company has a match program, we qualify because we are a 501c3, so it's guaranteed that we qualify. The trick is just finding out how your corporation matches and what the protocol is and what the steps are to take. So thank you for taking the time to look into that. It makes a huge difference. Boeing has been a huge contributor to Battlefield in the past. Things have dwindled because we lost track of the new system. So we really appreciate having the new steps so we can get back on board to getting that because it is a huge contribution. So thank you. And I see that Sherry just put the link in the chat. There's a new chat feature and there's the link and you can grab that. If you're not tech savvy and can't grab it, just reach out to Kristen or I and we'll text you the link directly. So thank you.
Angie.
Thank you, ladies.
Hey, Angie.
Thank you.
Yes, who's that?
Angie, it's Chris.
Yes, hey, Chris.
Yeah. Hey, so I just wanted to a point of clarification. So if you were giving to Battlefield through PayPal, which is what a lot of people do, the gift match through Boeing is a pain in the butt to do, and it's convoluted. And so it's actually much easier if you go to the link that you've just displayed and set up your monthly contributions through that. And then Boeing automatically gift matches, so you don't have any extra effort to do it. You just set it up and it does it. And so those that are giving that work at Boeing or retirees, you might consider switching the way you donate to Battlefield and do it through the Boeing link as opposed to doing it directly through PayPal.
Thank you, Chris. I just caught wind of that today with Sherry's post, and I was going to actually call you and ask you about that and go, oh gosh, this is new. So you know what we'll do? Kristen and I will work together, and we'll reach out to all you Boeing workers, or if you want to reach out to us first or whatever, we'll connect with all of you and see how we can smoothly switch that over. I don't want to confuse other people out there. These are just specifically to your cause. The two that we know of that use this new processor is Boeing and Microsoft. So those are the only two this applies for that we know of as of yet. So if you're not those two companies, ignore that piece.
Right. And then the other thing that's a little bit of that I don't know about is then will Boeing send us our year-end contribution statement for tax purposes, which would alleviate you the burden of having to send those out. I don't know that. I don't know where the year-end tax statement would come from.
Yeah, I would imagine they would, but we will regardless. Our system, we won't weed them out, so you would get one from Battlefield directly regardless. But I bet you Boeing does something like that. Yeah. But yeah, our system just shoots them all out. So so if you've given it all to Battlefield in 2021, you will be given a tax receipt at the by January 31st for the year. So awesome. Awesome. Thanks so much. Thanks, Chris, for that. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you, Carrie Burrows, who watches the recording. Thank you. All right. Before I turn it over to Kristen, Becky, do you have anything else?
I don't.
Okay. I'm going to remove all these spotlights except Kristen. And Kristen has something special for everybody.
And it's just me? Wow.
Yes, it's just you.
Hey, I want to thank the monthly partners too. You help our family so much, and I want you to know how grateful that we are for you. And you'll be getting a little grateful letter sometime this month. I just want to make sure everybody knows that we really appreciate everyone who donates. And also on the donate thing, it's Giving Tuesday is going to be November 29th, 2021. And what that is it's a super easy way to give to Battlefield Addiction. And I'll send out tons of information. You'll get information every other day or at least once a week on how to donate. And this is one of our biggest fundraisers besides when we were doing the auction, but we can raise a lot of money doing this. And it's just word of mouth and Facebook and emails. And if you guys can help us do that, I can put a form that you could just send to your friends, and they just donate on Facebook, or they can send us a check or whatever's easier. But it's a super easy way for us to make some money. And it's a nationwide thing. So the whole nation does this Giving Tuesday, and it's really fun. It's super fun and very easy. It's one day, November 29th, 2021, the Tuesday after Thanksgiving. And it's super easy, and you'll get lots of information. Anybody has questions, if something's not clear, once all the instructions come out, instructions are easy, let me know and I can help walk you through it. And please share for us, because it's very important that we keep helping families. And now, drum roll, you guys, it's been 4 weeks, and now we get the Run for Recovery slideshow. Enjoy.
Yes. Kristen worked hard on this video, so here we go.
Surprise, 'cause we know better than to roll the dice. So take this love and try to make it new. You can't fight it when it feels so true. You drive me crazy like no one else. The final moment before I lose myself. And it's no use working 9 to 5. if you want more than to stay alive. Come on over, we can make it through. Take my hand, I know just what to do. Wanna make you dancing through the night. Stay up until the morning light, the morning light falls. Come on over, we can make it through. Take my hand, I know just what to do. Wanna make you dancing through the night. Stay up until the morning light, the morning light falls. The morning light on. I just wanna be your Superman. Come fly with me, just take my hand. And now that we are cruising in mid-flight, you better watch out for the kryptonite. Come on over, we can make it through, make it through. Take my hand, I know just what to do, just what to do. Wanna be keep dancing through the night, we're dancing. Stay up until the morning light, the morning light falls. Come on over, we can make it through, make it through. Take my hand, I know just what to do, what to do. Wanna be keep dancing through the night. Stay up until the morning light falls. As we look up at the stars in the sky.
Thank you so much, Kristen, for putting that together. And thank you everybody for participating in our second Run for Recovery. It was really nice to be able to do something even from our own towns and tweak things as we needed to for COVID. So thank you so much. And our next one will be, hopefully we'll be okay with COVID and live and in May of 2022. And hopefully it will be another live event. But thank you so much for participating, sending in your pictures. And that was so fun to see. So thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Okay. Let's go over to the basement crew for some comedy. Is our Kyle ready for some corny comedy?
Your Kyle is ready.
All right. All right.
And you have to say, you know, Bundle and I do our own little marathon. We call it Sleep for Recovery. Yeah, he has me beat, but
Not by much.
not by much. Yeah. Okay. So I've always wondered why we always hear about vampires in Europe and in Americas. And you never hear about it in Africa. Then I realized they bless the rains down in Africa.
I don't get it.
I do.
I bless the rain down in Africa.
What does that have to do with vampires?
Holy water.
Oh, okay.
I got it. I got it. When it's music, I get it.
You just gotta read a book every now and then.
Yeah, that's just a
You
stretch.
just gotta read books.
I'm
My
blinded
friend
by this
David.
light. This is tough.
Lost his ID. Now he's just dumb. We got Wolfie and Barkley here with us. Every Solutions, well behaved. My uncle has 2 dogs, Dobermans, Rolex and Timex. Watchdogs. Yesterday I was so hungry. I ate 4 cans of alphabet soup. I had a very serious bowel movement. A-E-I-O-U. My ex once told me that I need to be more in touch with my feminine side. I agree. So I crashed the car. Then I stopped talking to her for a whole day without any reason whatsoever. We did have a pretty good relationship though, so much so I decided to name my daughter after her. Yep. passive aggressive psychos turning 12 this year. Speaking of 12-year-olds, when I was in school, I was bullied by a kid who used to beat me with the camera. I still have flashbacks. Yeah, a couple questions I was thinking about today. You know, they don't learn about in school. They don't teach you everyday life stuff, and these are just life questions I wonder, you know. Do homeless people really get knock-knock jokes? Gage, where you at? Do dwarfs get paid under the table? One thing I do know about school is I failed math so many times I can't even count. You know, I like what mechanics wear overall. What do you call a deer with no eyes? No idea. So my neighbors made a porno. They just don't know it yet.
Stepped up your game, Bunker.
Mhm.
Not corny anymore.
There we go. Monker's got it today.
All right. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you.
I just say Camp is really good camera. Yeah.
He's saying you shot the porno.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're welcome. That's not a good thing. Fucking pee-pee Tom.
All right. We're ready.
So tonight will be like a kind of a part 2 from last week. And, you know, I don't generally do that, but I think it's really important. And I think that we're all here scared of each other. And, you know, I think our survival that we've come to in our life is a social one. And I think what we're now fighting for in our lives is this social survival. And it's a scary world. You know, other countries, people are fighting for actual survival. They're fighting for their food. They're fighting for their health. They're fighting for their land. They're fighting for whatever they're fighting for. Here in America, we got it so good that we just have to fight for the way we look. And we have to argue about that. And I want to clarify that, that, you know, I say a lot that human beings, or that us here in America, or our society, is up to something, and what they're up to is looking good. And I want to clarify and say it in a different way, because I had somebody kind of go think that was what we were speaking of, was a physical looking good, and that was a confusion for them. And I think it needs to be said in a different way, and the way it needs to be said is that we're all concerned with the way that we present to each other. We're concerned with the way that we come off. So I think that if we kind of look at what we're up to how we come off with each other, how we show up, how we present. And I think one of our biggest fears is that we don't come off well, that we would say something that doesn't come out good. We would say something that doesn't come off well. We would say something that doesn't present very well. And I think that's the concern we're talking about. And so tonight, if we look at what we're doing here, and how I came out with last week about how we talk, and then somebody is able to speak, and we're all here and we're scared of each other, then as we begin to talk, the number one concern that a person would have is, how is this going to come off? How is it going to present? And it's not that when we say looking good, it sometimes looks like we mean like somebody's going to show up in the new shoes, or somebody's going to show up in the great outfit, or somebody's going to show up with the nicest car, or somebody's going to show up like that. And that's what we mean by looking good, or maybe their hair, or maybe but there's all sorts of ways that each human being is worried about coming off. It's not just the physical. Some people can say, I don't care what people think, because they don't worry about their physical coming off. They don't worry about their shoes. So they go, I don't care about what people think. And that can get confusing, because you do care about what people think. You just don't care about that you just don't want to come off looking like you care about the shoes that you wear. So then you actually see that actually that's a deep caring. So somebody that doesn't buy the nice shoes, they buy other shoes and they go, well, I don't want to come off looking extravagant. You know, we always say that it's great that some guy that's rich drives an old truck from 1980. No, that's just how he wants to come off. That's how he wants to come off. That doesn't mean he's better than the guy that buys the Lambo. That's how he wants to come off. So everybody wants to come off in a different way. And, you know, one of the problems that we're running into with truth is between. So tonight, for all of you, I'm going to call the thoughts that are in my head. I'm just going to call the thoughts that I'm in here with, the thoughts that think me. And I say think me because I really am a believer that I don't think, that it's an involuntary thing that happens in my head. And something is thinking to me. And I'm here like witnessing it. And what I'm going to call that something is like Mike. So Mike's in here with me. And then, and here it is. So not only am I in a relationship, and the getting to know myself is not just getting to know what's there. What getting to know myself is understanding, one, that I'm not Mike, that Mike's in here with me, and that I got to get to know Mike. So I got to get to know Mike when I'm with you. What I'm really doing is listening to Mike. So if people start understanding that you're in here with your thoughts, you're in here with that. Now we're all in here. So the first thing you got to get in a relationship with before you get in a relationship is you got to get in a relationship with your own thoughts. And the way to do that is to get in the right position with your own thoughts. See, most people just think they're thinking. Most people just say, I'm thinking. They think the thinking thing is them. They think they're Mike. They think that they are Mike. And that is a big problem, because you cannot get in a relationship with yourself if you think you're thinking. It would be impossible, because you think you're the thing talking. But if you kind of disentangle yourself and see that you're not Mike, that actually Mike is talking to you in here. So as I'm talking to everybody out there, their Mike is talking to them. And there it is. But it's not you. It's involuntary. So you can't stop it. You can't stop your thoughts from happening. So here we are. We're in a relationship, but I'm in a relationship with my thoughts, and you're in a relationship with your thoughts. So now what's truth? So what's truth, and how we present then, is we don't really want to say what Mike's saying. So Mike says something, and then we kind of go, no, Mike, I can't say that. That won't come off well. Mike, shut up. Stop thinking that. You're being too much judgmental, Mike. Don't say that. Hey, Mike, that's not going to look good if you say that. Mike, don't say that. And then we're listening, and we're waiting for Mike to say something real cool so we can say what Mike says. So we can say it in a cool way. And we're like, that's perfect, Mike. I'll fucking say that. And so here we are. Now you're in a relationship with another human being. And it's you and your thoughts, Mike, me and Mike, and then them and their Mike. Now, we're all about connection here. So let's look at what's in the way. Well, what's in a way is you want to hide what Mike says about me. And I want to hide what Mike says about you. Because we haven't learned as human beings a way to come off that we can be honest with each other, that we can share our thoughts. So everybody's sitting in this room scared to share their thoughts. Why? Because if I share my thoughts and get honest with what they are, you're somehow not going to like me. So I'm going to decipher between the hundreds of thoughts that are coming, and I'm not doing any of them, but I'm going to decipher, and I'm going to pick a few that I have learned that kind of look good to say. And then I'm going to say those. And that's how I'm going to try to come off. And now we have to really look at what's going on here. So like today, what I do on a Tuesday is that it's important, and it's a great day for me because I get to go ahead and look closer. Now there's two ways that I can get to know myself. There's two ways. I can take a break and disentangle from my thoughts, and then I can listen to them, and I can arrange them, and I can kind of like, organize them, and I can be with them, and I don't have to believe anything's true. Here's another way I can get to know myself, because this is real big. We all have blind spots. We can't see ourselves.
So you know that we don't know how we come off. So we come off and we don't know it, right? And the problem is all of us aren't honest with each other. So if you come off bad tonight and then ask me how you came off, somebody's probably going to say, you were great. Some probably's going to say, I'm real honest, nice person. So when somebody doesn't come off well, I tell them they come off well. And that's supposed to be honest and good. And so, and we're all here in this kind of thing, trying to come off well, so we can get to know ourselves through our thoughts, but we're really trying to get truthful and get to know ourselves. And then how can we do it? How can we connect? How can we connect if 99% of the thoughts that Mike says, I don't tell you? Then how do you know me? How can you possibly know me? How can another human being know you at all if you don't share your thoughts? I mean, all of them. Can they know you at all? So you just keep your thoughts because you're a nice person. You're a nice person. Oh, that ain't shit. You ain't a nice person. You're scared. You're scared to come off wrong. So you keep your thoughts to yourself. You know the cruelest thing that's ever been done to me? And I'll say it on this planet. The cruelest thing ever been done to me is people not sharing their thoughts about me with me. It is the cruelest thing because they tell you later. They tell you only if you ask and you beg. They don't tell you because they ain't got the fucking balls. So they sit there and have all these thoughts about you. Mike's talking to them in their head, but they don't want to tell you what Mike's saying. And then they think they're a good person because they don't tell you. They think they're nice because they don't tell you. They think that they're the good person. You ain't shit. You're scared. So how do you do it? The thing is all the thoughts that Mike has in my head. But the thing is I don't know if they're true or not. They don't have to be true about you. My thoughts about you don't have to be true. I just have to share them with you and we can kind of negotiate it together. Now, a blind spot is when you're coming off in a way. I had an incident last week where I asked a person about how I came off. I asked this person, tell me what you thought of what I said. And I'll tell you what our biggest fear is as human beings, because I've seen mine. It's when somebody tells you the way that they think you came off and it doesn't feel good. So as human beings, we don't want to get to know ourselves this way. We don't want to get to know ourselves through our blind spots. We don't want to hear about our blind spots. And we don't agree with our blind spots. So somebody tells us we came off in a way that's like a dick or like arrogant or like cocky or like a know-it-all or like fake, we say, no, we didn't. No, we didn't. You're wrong about how I came off. Let me tell you what it really is. Somebody has called me recently. They called me extravagant. I don't want to be called extravagant. I don't want to come off extravagant. A lot of times my biggest thing is people tell me that they say, art's all about money. I don't want to come off like I'm all about money. I want to come off like a fucking saint. I want to do it free. Fuck you. I love money. Don't you? Is there someone that doesn't fucking love it? So when they tell me art just loves money, fuck you. You do too, you fucking asshole. How's that? You don't love it? It doesn't buy you vacations and shit? Fuck. I'm extravagant? What? I like a nice car? I like a nice home? And you're going to fault me for that? But see, I'm so worried about how I come off that I try to change who I am. I try to say, oh shit, man. Fuck, I gotta drive an old Ford from 1983. I gotta hide my money. I gotta make sure I live in a shack. We are massively scared of how we come off with each other. And we are massively scared about your blind spots. And when we have a blind spot and somebody tells us how we came off and we disagree, that hurts. And it's scary. And we want to call everyone that was there and say, you didn't think I came off like that, did you? It didn't really sound like that to you, did it? And then we get some fake fucker that tells us it didn't. No, I liked what you had to say. Yeah. Oh, thank God, man. Because this is it. But how do we improve here? How do you improve? How are you going to improve? You need to get to know yourself. How are you going to do it? You're going to get to know your thoughts and you're going to share them with other people to see if they're true or not? No, maybe you don't got the balls for that. You don't got the balls to share your thoughts. Just shut up and then tell them to somebody else that don't matter. Tell them to the person. And here's the deal. We got in a relationship, we got two people. Always. We got one person that'll share all their thoughts and one person that won't. Almost in every relationship, that's the way it is. And they always call the guy that shares all his thoughts the asshole. And I think it's the opposite. I think the person who doesn't share all their thoughts and waits until the relationship was over and then shares them with everybody that'll listen is the asshole. That's who I think is the asshole. Because after the relationship goes bad, they're able to tell everybody their thoughts about the person. Here's what I really thought. Well, why didn't you tell them, you pussy? Because you're a pussy. Because you felt dominated. You didn't feel powerful enough. But this is the work. This is hard shit here. You got to put this here, what's in here, and you got to open up. And you got to be able to say it. And you got to take the pain of people telling you your blind spots. It is the most painful thing you will ever take. Trust me. When people tell me how I come off and I don't like how I come off, I want to call everybody on Solution Group. I want to post on Facebook. I want to run around and tell everybody that's not who I am. I want to prove them otherwise. It sucks. It's very painful. Somebody told me last week how I came off and I went, oh, that's not what I wanted. Because I was running around thinking I came off perfect. But we don't. We don't. But we think we come off perfect because nobody's got the balls to tell us we weren't. And you think you don't want to be around people that tell you how you come off? You need to be around people that tell you how you come off. But people do this. Then they go, hey, I'm done with this game. I'm going to live in my own house, my own little family. Nobody that tells me about my blind spots, nobody that tells me I come off wrong, and nobody shares their negative thoughts with me. And then I won't share my negative thoughts with my family or anyone around me. And I'll wait and I'll share all my negative thoughts when I have wine with my friend. And I'm the good person. I'm the good person that goes, has wine and talks about my other friends with this friend. That's good. Now here's the trick. It's brutal. The trick is sharing your thoughts because nobody will ever know you if you don't. The trick is I'm in a relationship in here with me and Mike. And the trick is you don't know me until you know Mike. You don't know me until you know my thoughts. Nobody knows you unless they know your thoughts. And I'm talking to every one of them. I'm talking to, in this, you may not like this. This might make you uncomfortable, but I'm talking to every sexual thought. I'm talking about every thought. And if you think somebody knows you, but they don't know your sexual thoughts, they don't know shit. That'll lead to you in the bathroom watching porn with your wife somewhere else, getting it done before she gets home from work. That'll lead you to separate bedrooms because you don't want to share your sexual thoughts because you're scared. The truth, we have no clue what it is. The truth isn't even our thoughts. That's the start of finding out what the truth is. Once we share those and then someone else shares theirs, maybe we can agree on some kind of reality. But until then, we haven't even gotten close. Not in any relationship. Most people that come here haven't even shared their thoughts about their family with their family. I'm talking almost 100%. They're more comfortable sharing their thoughts about their family with me than they are with their family. And you think that's not the problem? That's not only the problem, it's the solution. It's everything right there. So when we get here and you want to know about yourself, well, then here, it isn't just keeping your thoughts to yourself and thinking that's reality and just get in there with it and listen to everything Mike says or being Mike. That's not it. It's actually getting them out and then seeing how it comes back, but getting them out in a way that it might not be true. Hey, if one person would come to me, just one out of the history of what I've been doing, just one goddamn person and goes, Art, what do you think about money? You know, not one person's ever shared that thought with me. Not once. Used to be that I went out drinking. People shared the thoughts about how I drank. You know, not one person has ever come up and asked me if I drink. Not one. Never in the history of this. Not one person that says, hey, Art, don't you think you come off arrogant and like a know-it-all? But I wonder how many people think I'm an arrogant know-it-all. Not one person has ever came to me and said, I think you shouldn't have that car because it looks very extravagant. And I'm going to run around and tell everyone that you're extravagant. Nobody's ever said that to me. Maybe I could get better if they shared their thoughts with me. Maybe I could be a better human being. Maybe we could connect. Maybe there's a chance all of us could. Come on. So you can't live stuffed up like this. You can't live disconnected. You want to live in that room of your head, in that space with you and your thoughts, and you live in there long enough and you don't let them out and you don't share them with people around you, not sharing them in a way that you're right, sharing them in a way that there's a possibility that you're wrong, sharing them in a way that this is my thought, it could be wrong. Hey, my boss. Hey, boss, do you not like me? Like that thought. I have a thought in here that says you don't like me. I have a thought in here that says you discriminate against me. I have a thought in here that says, you know, everyone else gets a chance and I keep getting passed over. I have a thought that you don't like my ideas. So then you go to your boss and you say, hey, is any of that true? And you give him a chance. And if you don't, then you're just living in here with that thing. And guess why we drink and do drugs? Because you get rid of Mike. You get rid of that thing when you drink and do drugs. You don't have to be alone in there with your thoughts. It goes away. It also goes away if you share. It also goes away if you talk. It goes away if you see. Maybe it ain't true. But I'm tired. I'm tired of people not sharing their thoughts about me with me. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of you sharing your thoughts about me with someone else. Fuck you. And then calling yourself a good person. You ain't shit. And you should be tired of it too, people doing it to you. But also, I'm tired of people just criticizing me.
If you don't share your thoughts, it has to do with, like, we talked about relationships last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
The space between when one person has something going on with the other person, but they're not willing to say it to them. So then there's stuff that gets put in the middle of that. And
That's right.
Grows. Is that the same as when you don't say your thoughts in that relationship between, say, you and Mike?
No, it's the same, but listen to how it really is. If you don't share your thoughts, then the relationship that you have is not with me. It's with your thoughts.
Yeah.
So you're in there in a relationship with your thoughts, and that's more important to you that you keep their privacy and their anonymity safe.
Right.
And so what we have here is we have a scare filter. We have a filter here. And we don't want people to know us because to know us means to know all our thoughts. And we don't want anyone to know us. And then we want to connect with people. How? You can't. But how come we haven't been told this? We've been told to be a good person. We've been told to come off well. We've been told to be nice. We haven't been told to share our thoughts. We haven't been told because we haven't even learned as human beings how to do it in a way that isn't hurtful. We haven't learned to do it in a way that it's when we share our thoughts, they're not true. It's just something I got to say with you because somebody's saying this about you in my head. And I don't know if it's true or not, but there's this guy in my head and he's saying shit about you. And I need to ask you if it's true or not. I need to not just believe him. So I need to actually ask you if it's true.
One of the biggest, like, cop-outs you could say is like, oh, I don't want to hurt this person by telling them how I feel, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like,
We're telling them what you think.
Right.
But it's not what you think. It's what the voice in your head. That's the first part of this that I said. First thing you got to do is see that thing that's thinking in your head isn't you. Because if it's you that's thinking in your head, then you're going to think everything it says is true.
Right.
What's in your head is a social survival mechanism. What's in your head is a guy that wants you to survive socially, and a thought process that's learned to try to survive socially through coming off well. That's what's in your head. And also a backstabbing, two-timing liar is in your head. One that wants you to not be in relationships, one that wants you to run from every relationship, one that wants to pick apart every human being other than yourself. And if you ain't noticed that yet, then you ain't experiencing being a human being. But there is something inside of your head that wants to pick apart every single thing that the other humans do. Maybe you don't experience that, but I do. The thing in my head wants to judge what everybody's doing because it's worried about its survival.
And how do we fix that?
How do we fix it? Well, it's this conversation here. It's the first thing. If we can all admit to each other that we are goddamn so concerned with how we come off that we can't even say a true statement because we can't find the truth, because we're not looking for the truth. We're looking for how we come off. So we want to say shit that comes off well. We don't want to say things that are truthful. And then every now and then we sit in a room and somebody says something that's true without the concern of coming off well. And we cry. We cry at what they just said because they finally said something that's true and it doesn't have anything worrying about coming off well. And most of the time it's something like, I don't know. Most of the time it's something like, I don't have the answer and I don't know what to say. And in fact, I lack all answers. I can't figure it out. I have no clue what to do next. I've hurt a bunch of people and I don't know how to stop. I'm scared of all of you, and I'm worried that if I'm worried that you will not tell me if I come off bad, and then you'll go tell somebody else. And I have a big fear that everyone's going to talk about how I'm coming off. And they're going to interpret me in a way that I don't like. And they're going to talk about that behind my back. And I don't like that. And I don't want to say anything here because if I say something, everyone will tease me later. And I don't go to the gym because I can't lift heavy things too good. And I don't want people to talk about how I'm weak. I watch TikTok alone so nobody can see me. I think people that watch TikTok come off like douchebags. So I like to go watch it alone so I don't come off bad. How's that?
Is that what you're doing earlier?
No, not today. But really, my biggest fear is that I don't come off well. I'm trying to survive socially. I'm trying to have everybody in the world think that I'm great. And I don't like it when my blind spots show up and somebody, one of our most interesting things to hear is when somebody's talking about us. Did you hear what so-and-so said about you? Yeah, just go ahead and leave that. Try to leave that situation. Yeah. I was out at the bar last night. We're all sitting around and so-and-so mentioned you. Do you not care what they said? Yeah, no, I don't care. Sure you don't. What'd they say? I'll tell you later. No. Tell me now. Yeah. And then we hope that it's going to be something good. But if it's not, then we get that appalled look on our face. They said, what? That's how they think I am? I don't come off like that.
Or we don't want to hear what they said about us, but we're
scared.
We convince them why what they said is completely invalid.
Yeah, now we want to convince that person. Can you believe they said that about me?
Yeah.
That's not who I am. Tell me we're not concerned with how we present. Tell me that isn't the number one concern of human beings. Tell me I'm wrong there. Come on. I mean, really, how we present, how we come off. This is what I want it to look like. Do you care how it is? Not really. I don't really care how it is. I care how it looks. Do you care if you had sex with one woman or 50? No, but I want people to think it's 50. And then the girl, it's the opposite. You know? How many women did you sleep with? I've slept with tons. Tons guys sitting around. Imagine the guy that goes, one. What's wrong with you, you loser? And then the girls are sitting around. How many did you sleep with? 2. I've only had 2 guys in my whole life. You know?
That's sweet.
Yeah. We're concerned with how we come off. Now, the thing about this is, how are you going to get better as a human being? How are you going to see your blind spots without asking people what they are? You know you have blind spots. You know you're talking to a room of 20 people and you come off 20 different ways to 20 people. There's 20 interpretations there. Now you'll go to the one that's smiling at you and say, how'd I do? You were great, Art. I know. I'm going to sleep.
Don't watch TikTok.
But it's tough trying to ask the one that wasn't paying attention. How'd I do? That's why I see it. Scariest thing I ever seen anyone do is go up on that American Idol stage. That must be the scariest thing a human being can go through. Or that voice with the chairs, watching those chairs not turn around. How must that be? Your whole life thinking you can sing and those chairs ain't turning around? What the? No chairs. You just walk off. How do they feel after that? Yeah. Crowd's just kind of like. Then that guy comes on after you or before you, and it's just electric.
Yeah.
Fuck, how do those people not just end it afterwards? Jesus. It's scary. But a lot of the things that I've been seeing here is I've seen disengagement. I've seen you guys in early recovery not engaging in the process of getting better, and by getting better, accepting one, that you're not your thoughts. They're in there. They're not yours. They're just thoughts that happen to be in your general vicinity, and you have to listen to them. You have a roommate in here, and your roommate isn't accurate, and my roommate isn't accurate about you. So when my roommate talks about you, I can go to you and I can ask you, is this true? Face to face. But if my roommate forms an opinion about you, and then I go to you and tell you my opinion about my roommate's opinion about you, what am I doing? Why am I doing that? And the engagement process, the process of getting better, to see yourself, to know yourself, one is to know you got a roommate in here and it's not you. And then 2, not believe everything it says, but actually look at what's good and listen and get feedback, and then actually hear about your own blind spots. But you got to do something to get out there and have blind spots. You got to put yourself in a position that people could judge you. You got to get on the court. You got to do something. You got to buy a car. You got to drive it, and people are going to say something. That's about the first thing you can do. You got to wear shoes, but you got to go a little further than that. You got to step up and stand for something. I know it's cool. Nobody wants to be the best chore doer. We're doing chores over here. Well, what are you going to do? I'm going to be the 5th best. I want to be the 5th best chore doer. Not the best, because that ain't cool. And everyone's going to say, oh, what a loser. Look at him cleaning like that. He's in there cleaning the kitchen thinking he's cool. You're not going to be the worst, because everyone's going to talk about that guy. So you're going to do it as mediocre as possible. Just get yourself by. You're going to go to work and you won't have any ideas. You don't want to have an idea, because the guy that has the ideas, oh God, what a company man. What a loser. And you're not going to be the guy that doesn't do it right, because he gets noticed. So just go ahead and be number 5, right there in the middle. Mediocre. Get by. Make sure nobody sees you. Make sure you come off well. There it is. I'm not going to be management. Management? And what are you going to be? I'm going to be a guy that talks about management behind their back. That's what I do. I'm not one of those guys. We all talk about those guys and make fun of them. Why the fuck are you working for that company? Quit. Stand for something. Tough. Tough. You're gonna have to get uncomfortable. You want to know yourself? I know I'm not coming off well to everyone, so I'll listen. Fine. Fine. Is it true? Let's not talk about how I come off. Let's talk about whether it's true or not. Fuck you with how I come off. Just talk about whether it's true. Tell me it ain't true.
It's true.
Yeah.
Very true.
So there. Maybe I got to quit worrying about how I come off and just worry about the truth. It's not about you. It's about us. It's about what we're doing. What we're up to. Sitting here scared of each other because we don't want. Let's look at it. If no one was ever going to talk behind your back again, would you be scared? What would you be scared of? If nobody was going to talk about your reputation, would you be scared of your reputation? We're scared because we know what's going on. We know everyone in the room is looking us in the face and smiling and then going talking shit. We know because somebody who put themselves out there in the last group, they put themselves out there, and then 3 people went outside and talked shit, and all 3 of those people got it figured out that you can't talk in group or you get shit talked about you. And somebody did their chore really good and cared about it and said, I'm going to clean this to the best of my ability. And 3 people went outside and said he's a loser. And so you go back inside and you go, I don't want to do it too good. Somebody cared about something and then everybody judged them because they cared about it. What do you care about? What do you stand for? Tell me. You know what I stand for. Now judge it. Tough. Truth, we don't know what the fuck it is. Not anywhere near it. None of us. I don't know the truth about you. I don't know the truth about you. I don't know the truth about any of you. Nobody knows the truth about me until somebody knows every single thought. So I'll just keep sharing them, and then you could judge them, and I'll just keep sharing them until I get empty, until I got nothing left in here, and I'll just leave it all right there and walk off. And then you keep yours to yourself and tell your mommy, or I don't know who you're going to tell. You can't tell her. She won't want to know what kind of porn you watch. She'll be grossed out. She don't even know she don't want to know what you're thinking at any time of the day. So you got to lie to her.
Is it possible to not even know the truth about yourself?
Very possible, because people don't separate from their own thoughts. They just think them. That's very possible. So people don't even know the truth about themselves. You got to look, man.
The only way you can see that is if you can separate from it.
Separate from it. Separate from it and then bounce it off. Someone else. See how the reflection comes back. Hey, this is what I'm thinking. I mean, this is the way that that a good relationship with a man and a woman, or a good relationship with someone, works. You have some thoughts about that person. You're in a relationship with them. You don't take those thoughts to be true. In fact, you take the opposite. My thoughts about you probably aren't true, so I need to tell you to confirm that they're not true. And once I confirm that the thoughts that I'm having about you aren't true, I will feel better. And I know about this process because me and Ange go through it all the time. I'm having these thoughts about you, and I'm wanting to run, and I don't want to participate in the relationship, and I want to make up a story how you suck and I'm great, and I want to run from this relationship. So rather than do that, I'm going to open up all my thoughts that I'm having right now to you and let you rebuttal them until the point that they're gone. And I'm going to believe you. And once that's done, we feel better. And it's beautiful. And this is the way every relationship could work. How many people called their somebody in a relationship they're with lazy? Yeah. Can you imagine that? Somebody's actually lazy. It's not that they're having some kind of problem. It's not that they're unmotivated that day. It's not that they're so caught in their own head thinking with their thoughts that they're paralyzed. It's not that they're depressed. It's lazy. We call people controlling. It's not that they're scared. It's not that they're anything. They're controlling. They're trying to control. Maybe they're scared. Have you asked them? Yeah.
It's crazy because last week you were talking about how people sit there and they think about what they're going to say because they want to make sure that they look good when they're saying what they're saying. I've been doing this for a minute or two.
Yeah.
But you're saying, I find it strange that we say like the truth, like, and we narrow it down to like one possible thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's like a plethora of things.
Yeah.
But also,
that's right.
So,
That's right.
like, when Katie said like to not know like the truth about yourself, like, is there really the truth about yourself?
No. Could there be? No. Like,
yeah.
and just think how many times we just have the truth about somebody.
Yeah.
And we're just convinced that that's the truth about them.
Yeah, like we got it all figured out.
Yeah. This is the truth about that person, and that's why I don't fuck with them. That's why I'm not in a relationship with them.
I think it all comes from a way to justify why you don't have to do the work of being in a relationship.
That's right. Protection. You're protecting yourself.
Yeah.
It's really protection work.
You don't want to have to do the work.
Yeah.
So you make up these excuses, the justification about this person. They're lazy or they don't care or whatever it is. That way you don't got to do the work of the relationship.
That's right.
Because it could also be true that there's like a lot of good values about that person.
Yeah.
You just cut it off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
So when you confront somebody with the thoughts in your head or the thoughts you're thinking about that person and that person reacts in a way that isn't positive for the relationship, what then?
I think it's different. I think it's not confronting them with it. I think it's sharing.
Well, that's what I mean. I guess confronting was the wrong word, but sharing the thoughts in your head.
Well, you share them in a way. The most important part of this is to share them in a way. And I've learned this just with my relationship with Ange. The most important part of it is to share it in a way that you don't believe it.
Yeah.
That's the most important part of it. You know, if you can find a way to share it in a way that you don't believe it, you just want to confirm that it's not true. And I used to share all my thoughts in a way that they were absolutely true and they were accusing and they were like, you know, this is what I think about you and I'm right. And I still do that with a lot of people. Believe me. With Ange, I don't. I happen to be better now. She'll confirm that, I hope. But, you know, I mean, and that's just an example of one of my good relationships. And then there's bad relationships where I'm struggling in that relationship currently. And I'm more accusatory and more defensive and more, you see, more confrontational and more angry and more trying to protect myself. And then we have good ones where in a good relationship is all I'm saying is a good connection is where I'm okay with sharing these things with you. And I require you to share them with me. And that's the thing is that, you know, you're just oblivious when you're like in a position like I've been in a position where I've been oblivious. I've been oblivious to my blind spots. And then when your life starts going apart, John Gruden is a prime example of people coming out that smiled to his face and now coming out on television, telling all these thoughts about how they thought John Gruden was a fake. They thought he was this. None of them had the balls to tell him. And they've all come out on TV now to tell him all this shit about himself when his life's falling apart. That ain't shit. That ain't nothing. And they all think they know the truth and they're all coming out running their mouth. They were all scared little boys And John Gruden was a powerful man, and they were scared to say the truth to him. And so now they're all going to just shank him when he's going down. Why didn't you help him get better? Why didn't you go man to man and speak to him and go, John, are you a racist? You need to stop being this way, John. You represent the NFL, and I'm part of the NFL, and me and you can work this out. Did anyone go do that for him? No, because he's too powerful of a man. But they all think that they're the good person and he's the bad guy.
Or they're trying to elevate themselves.
And now they're trying to get off on getting a little. Come on, man. He's a human being. So what? You ain't ever been in a locker room with a racist? A misogynist? I have. It's most of us. Yeah, it's most of us. We just don't all write out in the email what we said in the locker room last night. But if we did have to have and all those people talking about Gruden, go ahead and open up your email for the past 10 years. Go ahead and open up all those guys. Sean Johnson, how many women has he slept with in a hotel room and shit? Come on, man. How many times you cheat on your wife? How many times you look at the cheerleaders and send pictures? How many dick pics are out there of your thing? Come on, man. But I'm getting there to the point where, listen, we better talk. You got a thought about me? Let's go. And I'm okay. I'm okay. It's either going to help me get better or it's going to help me get rid of you. You know what I mean? And I'm okay with either one. Yeah. I don't need everybody around me. You know, we're all right. Okay, we can, Ange, we just talking here now.
All right, well, we have a hand up, so let's go. Hey, Arlene, let's get you unmuted.
Hi
there.
So Art, I have to ask you, because this seems to has been a reoccurring theme for quite a few years. I mean, I remember this topic when we were meeting in person about, you would talk about the people that are talking about you out in the parking lot, or the people that are talking about you on the way home. And again, you know, you're the people that are talking about you now. And as, especially at home, I guess through Zoom, I guess I feel like I'm almost an audience member, but I'm not. I should be participating more. But I kind of feel like you're lecturing, and it's a little bit accusatory. And I'm thinking to myself, who are all these people that are saying all this stuff about you? Because I would guess that there's a lot of us on here that are not doing that.
It ain't saying things about me. And I don't think specifically, very rare cases where I hear something about me as a person. I'm not talking really about that. Okay. I'm talking about, do you disagree with what I have to say?
Okay.
Do you how many times do you hear people on Zoom or in a live audience with me disagree with what I have to say?
Right.
I
think it's easier for people to, if they hear something that they agree with, it's easier for people to chime in and agree than it is to say, oh, I don't agree with that. Because
let me challenge you. Why is it hard for people to disagree with me?
No, I didn't say that. I just said I think it's easier in general for people, if they're agreeing with something that you're saying, to go ahead and chime in and give their opinion.
No, but where is the opinion on what I talk about tonight going to be said the most? Is it going to be here tonight, or is it going to be after with each other?
Well, I mean, for me, if there have been times that I don't necessarily understand what you're trying to say, or I don't agree, and I'm not comfortable maybe stating that to everybody. So I'll call my son and I'll ask him, what was he talking about? I don't quite understand, and get his perspective. But that's pretty much as far as it goes.
Okay.
Now,
so how do you and I improve our relationship?
I didn't think, well, we don't know each other that well. And so I didn't think we had a bad relation, or I didn't think we had a bad relationship.
We don't at all. But how do we improve it? How do we connect deeper?
Conversations.
Yeah,
So, okay, so
conversations in which you agree with me or disagree with me.
okay. So moving forward tonight for me, and I think you said this last week too, and I didn't agree.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be healthy to tell people every thought that comes in, or for me, I don't think it would be healthy for me to tell my husband or my children or my friends, anybody, every single thought that comes into my head. I don't see that as productive. There are a lot of thoughts that come into my head that shouldn't be there in the first place. And I work very hard at getting rid of those thoughts.
Wait, why do you say they shouldn't be there?
Oh, just passing little nasty thoughts about something. I may see something that I don't think looks good. That wouldn't be productive to say that to somebody. Oh, you don't look as good today. Just little snarky things.
Man, for me, it doesn't have to be snarky, but wow, if I was in a room with somebody and they had a thought, Art, you don't look very good today, and then they kept that to themselves, I don't really want that in my life, because they still have that thought. That sucks, because you just had that thought about me, but you looked at me and smiled. And are we now connecting? How are we going to connect? And this is recent for me. This is a big thing where I've gotten to a point, I think, where I think the deepest connection is sharing those thoughts. And I think that's tough work. I think it's scary, but I don't know you unless I know yourself. You know your thoughts. So are you when you have those thoughts, now you're in let's say that somebody loves you. Let's say that somebody wants to get to know you more.
Right.
Let's say they say, I love you so much. I want to know every thought that's in your head like you do. And if you keep those to me, then you're kind of in a relationship with those and not me. And you're in you're cheating on me with your thoughts. And now you're filtering out what I don't get to hear, but I love you and I want to hear it all. And I'm okay with hearing it all.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll have to put some thought into that. Right now I'm not agreeing.
Well, what's the line? Let me ask you this then. What's the line? How come you get to determine what is the determination between good thoughts and bad thoughts, and where do you draw the line?
Well, because they're mine, for one thing. They're my thoughts. So I can determine what I think is helpful or what could be hurtful. And I can choose which ones that I want to share. And you're right. If I'm sitting harboring and holding on to these thoughts and resenting people, no, of course not. That's unhealthy. I'm talking about fleeting thoughts. When you said you got to share every single thought, you mentioned sexual fantasies, sharing anything like that, sharing with your partner, sharing with your children. Just not going to agree with you there. That just does not.
Well, I don't think you should share sexual fantasies with your children. But, no, I mean,
sorry, I kind of thought that's what you meant.
But I think that, but no, I really want to say something. I want to say that how is anyone going to get to know you if they don't know your thoughts?
By how I
I would say you're saving something.
Okay.
Who is the person, and I listen, it's no, I know everyone's going to have a different degree here, but I think that us being our filter is a tough place to put yourself in. And I think that there's something blocking connection. And I think, so maybe you have 100 thoughts, but maybe you share 50 of those thoughts. Well, what about the other 50?
Yeah, I would look at them as probably garbage thoughts. And I'm glad I do want to have a filter. I do.
Wow. But I think that they don't go away. I even if you say you had a fleeting thought, I would say you had a fleeting thought, but you have it over and over. I would say you don't have it once. I would say if you say, let's say you have a fleeting thought that your spouse is getting too heavy. And that thought just keeps coming. And it comes tomorrow and it comes the next day and it comes and then she's getting heavier and it comes heavier. You don't like it. You don't want that thought. You don't think it's a good thought. So you keep just not saying it. But imagine now later you and your spouse would come in. And the thing about our thoughts is we do share them with other people. We
Sure,
do. And we don't keep them to, I'm saying the ones that you absolutely keep to yourself, okay, maybe. But I say people don't keep them to themselves, even the thoughts about their spouse. They share them with a friend. They share them with a coworker. They share them with somebody. Two guys at a bar. One guy says, my wife's getting heavy. Now imagine if you're the wife and you hear that for the first time if the guy's at the bar. And you just walk in on that conversation. You'd be devastated.
Mhm.
And I think the husband has a duty to say it in a way that gets out of his brain, but say it in a way that's not hurtful and say it in a way that's productive. And that's the work of the relationship, is saying those things. Hold on, I got Kristen and Kyle.
Yeah, I know, and I agree with that. If it is a reoccurring thought and you can't let it go, absolutely, you better address it. Thank you.
No, but I'm not being accusatory of you. I'm being accusatory of one population, the population of people that have determined that a good person doesn't say their negative thoughts about people to people.
Okay.
They do not say the things that are negative about people to people. And they think that that's somehow good behavior. That's what I'm getting angry with and accusatory with.
But then they turn around and they say it to somebody else. And
That's right.
That's not.
Or they disagree with somebody, but don't disagree with the person. They talk to somebody else that agrees with them that they both disagree with me. That's what I'm talking about.
I agree with you. That's not good behavior by all means.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I don't believe that's you. I don't. So I think, and I
No,
never
and
said
I
it.
don't think you do.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, Chris.
Yeah. Hey, so I wanted to get Ellen off the hot seat here because while you were talking, I thought of another example. So I absolutely agree with you, Art, that you don't want to have a thought about somebody and go tell somebody else that thought without confronting the person. But I'm going to do a complete hypothetical. Let's say Angie comes back from shopping with a dress she just loves, and she's just gushing about this dress, and she puts it on for you, and she comes out and goes, God, I love this dress. And your first thought is, oh my God, that makes her look fat.
Yeah.
You just blurt that out and tell her that?
No, I don't.
No.
I don't.
No.
No, I say, honey. No, I'll say, honey, that dress isn't very flattering for you.
Yeah, you have to find a way to use tact. So I think one of the things when you approach somebody is you got to use tact. But the other point is then you don't go back to the house and tell everybody, oh my God, Angie put this dress on and made her look fat, when you've never even talked to her and said, honey, I think that dress isn't very complimentary on you. So, and I think people that are afraid to confront you or anybody else and have that discussion, they don't want the conflict. And so they've got a different solution. Their solution is, I don't have to confront Art. I'll just go talk about him, and then I feel better about myself. There's my solution. The problem that was a problem is now a solution.
Yeah. And that's why we have this, no, but I want to even go further, Chris.
Okay.
I think if I love Ange, and my thought is that she looks fat in that dress. I think true love gets to the point where I can say the thought this just occurred to me, honey, is that you look fat in that dress. Now, the woman, no, I'm dead ass serious because
I'm not doing that.
No, I know it sounds funny, but to me, it's not, because I will tell you down to the bone, Angie knows every single thought that I've had, every one. And I'm not making it up. I am telling you, there isn't a thought that I've had that she doesn't know about. And I've made that very clear in our relationship that that's how it's going to be with us. And I don't know if it's 100% the truth for her, but I've been in, I've done relationships wrong. And the most thing that I can say that I've done in relationships wrong is that I've not expressed those thoughts. And the work of the relationship is that expression. And it's getting to the point where this thought that pops into my head can be shared with you. And because we love each other so much, it doesn't mean anything. It just means it's a thought. And I want you to have it because other people are going to have it. And I love you so much, I don't want other people going to have the same thought. And I don't want you to look fat in that dress. I want you to look beautiful like you are. Now, I've never had that thought, so I never had to get there. but you know, I mean, I'm serious. I'm serious. Here's what I say all the time. If it's love, tell the truth. And if it's the truth, then love will reinforce the truth, and the truth will reinforce love. And it goes like that. The truth reinforces love, and love reinforces the truth. And the more you can say it, and I'm talking to the point, walking through the casino with a woman, hand in hand, she says, look at that other woman. Would you like to sleep with her? And you say, yes. Yes, I would. And it's brutal, but it's true. And I can't deny, I'm not going to say, no, I don't have this biological reaction to wanting to sleep with her, and deny that. And then cover it up and say, I didn't have that happen, because I'm a liar then. I'm a liar to her. And it's that deep for me. So I don't, you know, and I think I've been in another where we just keep covering it up, covering up. And what's the line is what I always say. What's the line? How come you get to be the filter with your thoughts about me? I don't want to line with Angie. Trust me. If she has a thought about me, no matter what it is, she doesn't get to be the filter. You had the thought. Somebody else is going to have the thought. That's a blind spot for me. Show me my blind spot. You have a thought. Somebody has bad breath. Don't tell them. You're nice. You find out you're in a relationship and they go, yeah, I didn't like kissing him. He has bad breath. And they tell the whole world.
They never tell you.
They never told you. You know, whatever it is, man. How far can we go? How far can you go?
We went out to David Buster. The first thing I said to Katie when I saw her is, Katie, I really like
definitely.
Yeah. Okay, Kyle, you had something?
Yeah.
We might go over we might go over a little bit here, and I don't care. Kyle wants
Yeah,
to
and there's
talk.
lots of chats. People are sending messages too. It's
Okay,
getting
let's
good
get it.
now.
Let's get it. Look it. We'll go till 9 o'clock tonight. I don't care.
This is getting
And
good.
I'm intense because listen,
Thank you, Eileen, for starting us out. Thanks,
yeah,
Chris.
I've been on this and I get really excited because I want everyone to share their thoughts. And listen, it hurts. When people share their thoughts about you to you and they hurt, that's what happens. They hurt. But here's what happens next. You get better. They hurt and you get better. Does a woman want to look fat?
No.
I don't think so. So she wants to live in a world of oblivion where she looks fat but doesn't know it? Who would want to live like that? I'm sorry if you want to live like that, but you look fat. And the woman's coming out going, I don't want to look fat in this dress. I think this dress makes me look skinny. Well, you better love her and you better figure out a way to put your arms around her and make her feel not fat while you tell her she's fat. I'm telling you, you know? How do you make her feel like the most gorgeous woman in the world while you tell her she's fat? Figure that out. That's what you need to do. That's what you need to do.
Okay. Oh, okay. There's just a couple points here that I want to make. And Art already said them, and Eileen made me think about it. I mean, that you really okay. So the way that we think, that the way everyone thinks, the world thinks, is wrong. We have this. The whole world thinks the exact same way, and what we are suggesting is this crazy, outrageous, different way of thinking.
Yeah,
is what people think. But it is truth. It is 100% truth, and people are scared of the truth sometimes. So we look at those things, right? Those things that you don't want to say to the people that you're thinking about it. You really have to think of what's stopping you, and what is 100% stopping you is the fact of the way you're going to look when you say it.
That's right. How you come off.
So you're too scared. I'm too scared to tell my significant other that I like this kind of pornography. I'm scared I'm going to look stupid.
Yeah.
I'm scared that I'm going to look stupid. Kind of like, I like watching guys sucking girls' toes.
Yeah. You do, Kyle?
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
I give it a shot. Anyway, so the other two other main points I want to make. So if if we are focused strictly on results. So the result is I want to have a better relationship with my significant other or whoever it is. The result, you're focusing straight on results. Now, when you're focused on the results, it's impossible to focus on what you look like. So the results, you want a better relationship, you want an honest relationship, you want to be able to communicate. When it comes to the thoughts that are coming through your head, you're focused on having this better relationship with this person. You're going to say the thoughts that are coming through, because what you're trying to work for is a better relationship. That's all that matters.
That's right.
That's the only result that you care about. So the result that you might look stupid doesn't even cross your mind.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And the last thing, I want to bring it back just a little bit from just something to think about. It ties in perfectly to what I was talking about before. We have what we tend to do is we tend to justify, or we tend to make judgments and assumptions of other people to justify our own insecurity or to justify our own self-betrayal, like we talked about. So half the time these thoughts are going through your head, they're not even true. And this is the work to get through it.
That's right.
You know, this is one of the things you can do. You know, I talk about maybe you can think back to the point or where you committed there was a moment that you were going to do something for somebody else and choose not to. And so you made a justification of that reason. Maybe you can go back and look at that and figure that out. Or you start being honest with the person, which would be easier, I would think. Focus on the results of having a better relationship. The thought comes through. You let them know the thought that's coming through, and you guys work it out.
And this came about because of the work that I've done with Ange and because of the work we do on our relationship. And the way this came about was I would ask her thoughts about me. And Angie would say, no, they're stupid. They're not true. I don't really want them. This is what I'm thinking. And I would require her to tell me what they were. All of them. Because what I said to her is, I don't want you in a relationship with your thoughts. I want you in a relationship with me. And you're not going to two-time me with your head. You're not going to backstab me and be in a relationship with your own thoughts about me. That's like you and your girlfriend talking about me. See, the first point that I made has to be clear. You're not your thoughts. Your thoughts are involuntary. Your thoughts are coming through like somebody else outside of your head. It doesn't have to be in your head, and it might not even be in your head. Your thoughts are not you. That's the first part. And just because that you had that thought doesn't mean anything about you. Just, you can't stop it. If a thought comes in that says your wife looks fat, you didn't create that thought. It occurred to you. So you don't need to own it like it's you thinking. That's the first main point you need to understand in all this, that there's two people in there. There's you and your thoughts. There's two beings, you and your thoughts. Now, if you're in there with a relationship with your thoughts, then you're talking about me behind my back. And I don't want people to talk about me behind my back. Now imagine if we were in this room right now and all of our voices in our head were audible and they just blurted out. It would be a different world. We would have to get better. We would have to hear stuff about ourselves that we didn't like. And it would require us to do the work of getting better. Oh, you come off like an asshole. Then I'm going to have to go, wait, why did I come off like an asshole? Well, let me tell you, Art. And I would learn about a blind spot. I would learn something about myself. I would learn your perspective of me. The only way I can get better is by hearing your perspective of me. I can't get better without new perspective. Now, if I want to just hold on to my perspective and you want to hold on to your perspective, we're not in a relationship. We're not there. This work is tough. And I've never been to the level with a human being that I am with Ange. We're on another level. I've never been there. And I'm talking to you about that. I'm talking to you about how, and I want to get there with other people. I want to connect deeper. But you don't get to filter me. Your thoughts about me don't get filtered. I don't want that. Don't do that to me. Do it to somebody else.
So if you believe some bad thoughts about somebody and without finding any truth to that, that's you're kind of creating self-betrayal for yourself in that relationship, right?
Yeah, imagine this scenario. You guys are listening to me talk, and then a voice in your head goes, wow, that guy's an arrogant bastard. So now you're in a relationship with him or you're in a relationship with me? Who are you in a relationship with? And until you out that person that said I'm an arrogant bastard and we talk about what he said, then I can't trust you. I can't get to know you.
So how about this?
But if you say, hey, this guy in my head, Art, is saying you're an arrogant bastard. Is he right? Now you give me a chance. Now you give me a chance to go, you think this is arrogance? Maybe it is. I don't know. And then I can talk about it and I can either get better or I can go, hey, no, you know what? You and your roommate can fuck off. Stay away from me. Yeah.
You know, when we talk about you talking about anger and feeling anger and not understanding why, there's times where I get angry too, and I'm like, this is so not me. Like they get the emotional vibe going,
Mhm.
and you say your thoughts aren't your thoughts. And when you're around a certain amount of people for a long time, like the people you work with, you start getting that emotional attachment to people, not realizing it. And also like in the homes and things. And I started asking out loud, who is angry right now? Like who is going through something that is so horrible that it's starting to affect my mental status? And not even crazy shit, like an hour later, someone from work or someone will walk in the door and they have shit to say.
Yeah.
And they just needed to get it out. It wasn't even about me. It was just, I'm going through so much crap right now that I need to talk to somebody about it.
Mhm.
You know, so a lot of that anguish or that anger and us trying to help each other comes to the effect of that emotional, and maybe those thought processes are the emotions of our surroundings, the people that we're already connecting with.
Okay. I can't comment on that right now because I didn't hear it. I'm sorry. I'm thinking a lot about what Eileen said. And, I love what she said. She said it coming off. She told me how I came off. It comes off accusatory. And I want to come off accusatory. I'm okay with that. I am accusing you. I am accusing you of one thing, keeping your thoughts to yourself. I'm accusing you of that. And I'm saying you do it. And that's why you're going to struggle. And as long as you continue to do it, you will continue to struggle. And until you're ready to open up and until you're ready to get honest with your thoughts with other people, you will lack connection. And isn't the thing that they always say about addiction is that it's the opposite of connection. They say it. I don't know if it's true, but it might be. And if addiction is the opposite of connection, then what we're doing here is learning to connect. If you want to connect with your thoughts and stay alone in there with them and even classify them as negative or positive, that's the other thing. Why are you classifying your thoughts?
They're not even yours.
They're not yours, and they're not negative or positive. They're just thoughts. They're just thoughts. And they can be productive no matter what. And you can be alone with your thoughts and be in a relationship with that. But you better out yourself.
Because any work that you're doing at all is productive.
It's all productive. It just has to know. Yeah, you've got to find a way to be the type of person that can share your thoughts.
And that's kind of where I was coming off, or what I was going to say too. It's like, I guess here's an example, and I don't know if Daniel's on here tonight or not, but I'll just use Daniel and his situation as an example. And Daniel, my brother, had a situation with his woman of 6 years. And he couldn't handle it anymore, and it had to be brought out to the table, put on the table.
Mm-hmm.
When that situation was brought out and put on the table, she didn't like what she heard. She then basically said, "You're calling me untrustworthy, unloyal. And he's like, "Well, this is just the thoughts that are in my head. This isn't what I believe. These are just thoughts that are in my head. And I need to basically wash these thoughts away and confront them or go about it with you." Right?
Yeah.
But she doesn't take it that way. She takes it as she's being attacked. She takes it as now he's untrustworthy. And
because it's too late. Because it's too late. You can't go years without doing this work. You got to do this work every day.
Right.
You got to share today's thoughts with the person today.
And also,
if just hold on, if 30 days happens, and then something that happened, you want to share your thoughts about it that they did 30 days ago, that's a resentment. And you've stored that up and you're using that as evidence. And you've been building a case for years. And now you want to dump your entire case on the table.
That's right.
And that's not going to work, because this relationship work has to be done on a daily basis, on a minute by minute basis. It has to be so truthful, and it has to be done all the time. I'm going to hit Allison up too real quick. Is that Allison?
Yeah, and actually, before I have to add this little visual, and this is a visual Art gave me early on in our relationship, was the sheets. One
Yes.
lie or our one truth not told is like pulling up one sheet. And then a second one is that second sheet. And then that third one is the comforter. And once there's those layers there, you're gone, you know.
It's
too much.
over. You
It's
can't
over.
backtrack because the betrayal has already happened. Because now the person tells you their thoughts about you, and you go, "You've been thinking that for this long? This is what you think about me?" And then it's too late.
Yeah.
The bed's made.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take Allison, and then I'm gonna say, because it is getting late, I will say there's some chats too that I'll send Art after this. And then perhaps next week it might even, I don't know, roll over into
We'll
next week.
continue it. This is a good conversation.
Yeah, it's so good. But it is getting late. A lot of people have dropped
That
off.
Allison.
It's tough for people. And I hate for the people that have dropped off to lose like Allison's feedback here and such. So we'll take Allison, and then we'll continue next week. So okay, go ahead, Allison.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on the thoughts could be what I'm thinking about is my family and a division in our family about my addicted daughter who is now sober for 3 years. But the whole past and everything, there's been so many opinions and so much division. A lot of it, I think of it as just their opinion. It's not like it's going to change me, because I've heard the things that they've said to other people about my daughter or the whole situation, and that's their opinion because they have an uneducated opinion, and I'm not going to change anything that I do because I think that their thoughts or opinions, they've never shared those thoughts with me, which I wish that they would, and I would tell them that that's your opinion because you haven't lived through what I've lived through with the 10 years of addiction and finding her on the streets, etc., and dealing with all the trauma and all the ER, all the time she OD'd in the hospital 50 to 100 times, I swear. It was just, I think some of it is just opinion. So, I don't know.
So let me just ask you a question. How do you connect deeper with your family?
Well, we're divided, and we just don't talk about it. We just don't talk. My siblings, I'm the youngest of 6 kids. My 3 sisters live in this area. We don't get together. We don't talk about it. We're just divided. It kind of just separated the whole family, and we've never come back together. But when we do see each other on holidays, nobody talks about it. Nobody.
And everyone's just worried about how they're gonna come off.
Yeah.
Everyone's worried about the visual of what it looks like rather than how it is.
Right.
I mean, and we can go on for years as human beings about that, but good thing, we're here tonight and we're talking about connection. And people come on because it says connecting the addict, the family, and the community. So here we go. And I hope, people see that the doorway to connection is sharing our thoughts. And that is the doorway. And if you don't have, it's fine if you don't want to do it, just don't expect connection. And it's fine, and if you don't want to share your thoughts and you have thoughts that you want to keep to yourself, well, it's like the internet bar. Remember, it used to be the internet, the dial-up internet, it would say 100% connected. Well, I think the only time it can get to 100% is when every thought, and I'll challenge anyone on here that thinks that I'm not telling the truth. And I'll just ask Ange, do I have any thoughts that you don't know?
No.
It's 100%. There is nothing.
No.
And I got, and that's because what I'm going to do in my relationship is I'm going to leave it on the floor. There ain't going to be nothing left. I'm not going to keep my thoughts and go to the grave with them. Like that's going to do something.
What does the family do though? I'm the only one that wants to initiate everybody actually getting together and actually talking about this so that we can all finally know what's going on. But I don't know if I need, do I need to tell people I want to talk to them about my thoughts?
Yes. And you need to find them a way that you can say that your thoughts aren't true. You're just actually asking for their opinion on your thoughts. You're just asking for their thoughts on your thoughts. These are the thoughts that keep bugging me about you. And I want to come to you and I want to say, it makes it hard to go to Christmas. It makes it hard to do these things. And I just want to dump it out. I don't know if what I'm thinking is true. I don't know if any of it's true. I just got to say it because I'm not going to say it to anyone else. And I need to say it to you because I want to connect with you.
You gotta be prepared to hear their thoughts.
Yeah, and you got to be prepared to hear the blind spots that you haven't recognized in you, because they got the same evidence on you. They have the same thoughts and they've built up the case on you. And you got to let them tell you their case. And that's tough stuff. And listen, by the way, I'm not here. I'm just saying one thing I know is true, that true connection is to share all my thoughts with a human being. Now, do I do it in all my relationships? No. Do I know then? But if I do want to connect deeper, will I do it? Yes. If I don't want a deeper connection, then I just don't share my thoughts. That's it. But if I don't want a deeper connection, I don't share my thoughts. But we're sitting here talking about how to connect with people deeper. And I'm just saying, if you're going to connect with people deeper, how could it not be through every one of your thoughts? If it's another way, let me know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's keeping your thoughts to yourself and denying it. Maybe it's talking to somebody else about somebody. Maybe it's faking it. Maybe it's having the thoughts, being in a room with somebody, they're not present because they're with their thoughts, and you're not present with each other because you're with your thoughts. And then you go, what were you just thinking? And they go, nothing. Good relationship.
My thought was that we had to do this with every single person. Yeah, that was mine.
No, I'm not saying you have to do this with every single person in the world. I'm saying if you want a deeper connection with your family, I'm saying if you want a deeper connection with your addict, I'm saying if you want a deeper connection, I choose to do it with a lot of people. I have a lot of relationships that are close with a lot of people. And people always know where they stand with me. I don't have any thoughts about you that I harbor. I don't have any thoughts even that I think I couldn't give you. If I have a thought that's negative, then I will give it to you in a way that I hope will help, because other people have it too. And I don't mind being the bearer of bad news for you. And I think I'm doing you a favor. If somebody can't sing, I like to tell them they can't sing so they don't embarrass themselves the rest of the fucking life. But you think you're being a friend because you're nice, and you think that you don't tell anybody they can't sing, so you're nice. That's a guy that can't sing and makes it all the way to American Idol is a guy with no friends. And that's the thing. How can you be the one to go, hey, man, you suck at singing, bro? He's either going to get better or he's going to quit singing and embarrassing himself. But somebody will use the excuse that they're being nice, not telling him that. Are we ready? A lot of chat stuff, huh?
And yeah, there is. And so I will send the chat over to Art so he can read the transcript. So he has that in mind for next week as we continue this, because clearly we need to continue this. A lot of great. Again, I want to thank Eileen. I really love when you come to the table. So I hope you'll do that more. It's always valuable for everybody and everybody who shared. Thank you. More next week for sure.
It proves my point. What Eileen did tonight proves my point. And I also proves the point that Eileen and I's relationship can now open up some kind of doorway to getting better. And whether it's just we know each other more, or whether we get to know each other more, or she helps me improve. And then because maybe I was coming off accusatory and I didn't want to be, but I wanted to be. And I do accuse. And I do accuse a lot of people of being nice. And I do not trust the nice people. I trust the people that tell me the truth. And she told me the truth tonight. So now I can trust her. You see? And it's okay. It hurts for a minute. It stings. But then you take it and you work with it.
Work happens.
And work happens.
Mm-hmm.
So please, I'm okay. Share your thoughts. It's like a chef. You imagine a chef, he goes into the restaurant, he cooks 100 plates of food and he puts them out on the table. And everyone's got nice things to say to him. And then they get in their car and they don't tell him the bad things. How's he going to improve? How's he going to get better? And a chef's got to be open to the possibility and come out and say, how'd you like it? And somebody's got to have the balls to say, it wasn't that great tonight. You did better last night. And that's okay. And any good chef's going to like that. And that's the same with our life. We're putting our life out there like a plate of food. You're putting yourself out there. Even in a restaurant, they say it's all in the presentation. No, it ain't. It's in the food. It ain't in the presentation. You bring me a shitty meal on a nice plate, I don't give a shit. You bring me a good meal on a paper plate, it's still a good meal. So it ain't all in the presentation, and neither are we. It's in what we're doing here, the truth. So I don't know, man. I hope it helped. This is what I'm working on. This is what I'm working on. I'm working on sharing my thoughts in a good way. And I'm working on my freedom, because the freedom that I have is that every thought is out of my head. And the prison is being in the head with your own thoughts. That's the prison. And for you guys, the stakes are high, because if you're in that prison with your own thoughts long enough, you will do drugs and alcohol to get rid of them. So the stakes can't be higher. You have to. You have to share with people, and the people that matter, the people that you're thinking about. And you got to do it in a way that they stay around. So again, I hope it helped, and thank you guys. We'll see you next week.
This was great. More next week, everybody. Good night. Good night. So good. Couple announcements for upcoming things coming next week too. Good night, everybody.
Good, Bart.